There's one secret that separates successful athletes from unsuccessful athletes. Think about this for a second. If I were to ask you, do successful athletes have the same targets as unsuccessful athletes? Most would say no, but the truth is this, they actually do. The difference isn't in the targets that you set, the difference is actually in the habits that you have. Think about it, all the great athletes in the world do things differently than the majority. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, all of them have their own practices that they follow that allow them to be successful. And if you're gonna be an athlete that dominates at the next level, you need to get your habits on point as well. In today's video, we're gonna cover the 5 habits that are destroying your athletic performance and how you can flip them to have more successful habits to be more successful in performance. Hey, my name is Matt Calderoni, co-founder of Molliteum, where we help athletes discover and reach their true potential by building their resilience. And since 2015, we've helped just over 5,300 athletes from the youth to professional level in leagues like the NHL, NFL, NBA, and so many more, helping players like Lauri Markkanen, Kyle Kuzma, Dylan Cousins, DJ Reed, and many, many more. The reason we started this YouTube channel is because I used to be an athlete, I wasn't successful, and I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes I did. Now, before we dive into what these 5 habits are, we have to dive into what an actual habit is, because most athletes don't know. Now, a habit is a routine of behavior that happens at a subconscious level, aka it's a behavior that you repeat without even having to think about it. Now, these behaviors can be mental behaviors like thinking certain ways or frameworks, actual physical behaviors like actually going out and doing something or completing an action, or emotional behaviors, which is where you react and feel a certain way based on a certain stimulus. Now, like you can see here, every habit has 4 parts to it. First, there's a cue, or something that sets you off. Then there's a craving, or pain that you want to avoid. Then there's a response, or what you actually do to avoid that pain. And then there's a reward, or how you feel that you've avoided that pain and gained pleasure. Every single habit has one of these. Now, what we want to see cues as is kind of like a warning sign, where when this cue comes up, and it could be something that's physical, mental, or emotional, when this cue happens, though, you need to take it as a way to understand how you're going to respond going forwards. The problem is this, though. Most athletes aren't aware of how they're responding or aren't even aware of the cues that are happening around them. So if you want to truly change a habit, what you have to do is understand what the cues are that are setting you off, what your current responses are, and change that response. Because these are the only things that you can really control. You can't control the cue, you can't control the reward, you can't control the craving, but you can control how you respond to that situation. So, in this video, what we're going to be doing is giving you the cues, cravings, responses, and rewards so you can see what you're currently doing and then give you better responses so you can change that habit and condition it with repetition. So, with that being said, let's dive into the 5 habits that are destroying your athletic performance and what you can do better to make sure they're not. Habit number 1, trying to be perfect or perfectionism. Perfectionism is when you mask an insecurity by trying to be perfect. And the reason that you're trying to be perfect is because you want to gain acceptance from other people, or you don't want to mistake and look foolish in front of them. However, the truth about sports is this. It's an 80-20 game. 80% of the time, things are going to work out for you. 20% of the time, they won't. And the funny part is, what you do in that 20% is usually what determines if you're a great athlete, a good athlete, or an iconic one. Think about it. The best athletes in the world aren't perfect. They play this 80-20 game. So, you can't be either if you're going to get to that next level. Now, some of the common cues that we notice are the following. Number 1, you're trying to beat a player out for a spot. Number 2, you're trying to move up in the depth chart. Number 3, you're trying to impress a new coach. Or number 4, if you're at this level, you're trying to gain a new contract. And the usual craving or the pain that they're pushing off is being embarrassed by others, not being accepted, or feeling like if they are perfect, they're going to make more money going forwards. So as a response to this, most athletes usually try to be perfect. And the reward is that they feel if they're perfect, they're going to either impress others around them or impress those other higher ups to get them a better contract. Now, the reason that this doesn't work is simply because there's no such thing as perfect in sports, but the only true way to gain acceptance from others is to understand that when you're using your strengths on a consistent basis, people give you praise for that. Think about it. Anytime you've been successful in performance, anytime you've gotten praise, it's because of your consistency, not your perfectionism. So going forwards, your new response should probably be this. Number 1, get very clear on what your strengths are. That way you understand exactly what you need to do as consistent as you need to do it. And number 2, so long as you stay focused on those strengths, you're going to gain that acceptance going forwards, but you have to be consistent. So whenever you get a cue that pops up where you feel like you're trying to be perfect in any way, shape, or form, always come back to understanding, so long as I depend on my strengths, I'm going to be fine. Great examples of this: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams, all of these athletes focused on 3 basic things, did it consistently, and it was for their consistency that they got praised in sports. Habit 2, comparing yourself to other athletes. Now, comparing yourself to others is usually when you start to look at another athlete who might be more successful than you or is getting more praise, in the hopes that if you copy what they do, you're going to gain the same amount of success that they will. Now, the truth to this is that when you're not going down the path that's best for you and you're just trying to copy somebody else, you're often going down the wrong path because you're not playing to your strengths, like I mentioned before. And as a result of that, you're actually widening the gap between where you are and where you want to be by trying to copy somebody else. So this is not a great solution for you. And the reason that most athletes do this is simply because they don't trust themselves or their own abilities. Now, the usual cues that we see set off the athletes we work with is number one, when they see somebody else on their team being successful and they want that kind of success as well, so like envy. Or number two, when they want to beat a player out on their team so they feel they need to match them and then go further than them. And the craving behind this, or the pain they want to avoid, is that they don't want to be the odd man out or odd gal out. So the response they follow is that they compare themselves to others on their team, try to match their abilities, and then try to beat them. And as a reward, they're hopeful that as a result of this, they'll experience the same amount of success, if not more, and beat out the other player. Now, the reason that this doesn't work is because, like I spoke about in the last habit, you have your own unique strengths and abilities and your own unique path. You might be chasing somebody down their own path, and you might have actually been really, really close right here to the success that you're on, and they might be here as well, but then you go down another path, and you're trying to do things that really aren't you and play a game that's not yours, and you actually get further away from the success you want instead of getting closer to it. So the new response that you have to lock into whenever you feel like you're going down this path of comparing to others, you need to realize, number one, you're actually experiencing some insecurity about a skill. Number two, you need to isolate that skill. And then number three, you need to go work on that skill that you're unsure of. When you do this and you're able to take this as a warning sign for something you're unsure of, you're able to better that skill, build more confidence, and then you'll be successful on your own path instead of trying to copy somebody else's. Habit number three, self-sabotaging yourself. Now, the habit of self-sabotaging is actually a belief system. And what happens is when you start to become successful, you actually start to self-sabotage your own success subconsciously or consciously. Now, the truth behind self-sabotage is this. Self-sabotage is values in conflict, meaning that you want to do something or gain something, but you also don't want to leave something and avoid something, meaning you want to be successful, which is what you want to gain. However, you don't want to give up the time that you spend with your friends because you have to commit yourself further to your sport. And as a result of that, there's this pull and this push and pull behind it, and then you end up not taking action, aka self-sabotaging yourself. Now, the cue that we usually see that sets off most athletes is when they're close to being successful. And the usual craving that we see them have is that they have the pleasure of wanting to gain something, but the pain of having to give something up. So as a response to this, they actually end up freezing, aka they have self-sabotage. And the reward that they feel that they have because of this is that they actually don't have to give that thing up or gain that thing. They'll just stay in the middle and everything will be fine and stay the same. Now, the reason that this doesn't work is because every human being has a breaking point, and eventually you're gonna hit that wall of realization where you start to regret everything and you realize, oh my gosh, I had all this opportunity to be successful, but I threw it all away. So whenever you feel like you're starting to self-sabotage, what you need to do instead now is get right to the root of exactly what the pain is or the fear that you have that you're avoiding. Meaning that if you feel like, oh my gosh, I want to be so successful and I know I can do it, but it's the pain of giving up friends. Once you start to realize that that's at the root of your pain, you can start to solve for it. So all that really takes, and the big myth that a lot of athletes have, is that they need to give up a bunch of things, when in reality, you just need to get better with your time management. So whenever you start to self-sabotage, get to the root of what you're really scared of and go solve for that. Habit number four that's killing your athletic performance is focusing on the problem, not on the solution. AKA, this is often when you complain about a situation going on instead of focusing on the actual solutions you have in front of you. Now, the reason most people complain about their problems or focus way too much on the problem is because you've often been taught that this is the way to solve a problem. You have to focus on it. When the truth is this, if you look at some of the best athletes in the world, they often only spend about 5% of their time on the problem and 95% of their time on the solution. This is why you hear about the top athletes being solution-oriented. Now, the cue that we see sets most athletes off is obviously when they're facing a problem. The craving is that they want to get to the root of that problem as quick as they humanly can. So as a result of that, the response they have is that they focus only on the problem and they dissect it like crazy, and they feel like the reward they're going to get because of that, they're going to get to the root of it, and they're going to know exactly what it is that caused the problem. Now, the reason that this actually doesn't work is simply because you think you're solving a problem when really you're just sitting in your own misery. Dissecting a problem usually doesn't take that long. You usually know what it is that's not bringing you success. It's that we often don't get solution-oriented quick enough. So the new response you need to have is that whenever you make a mistake, especially in the middle of a performance, or there's a problem going on, you need to immediately get to solution mode, and you need to try to get to solution mode as quick as you possibly can. So sitting in a game and dwelling on a mistake, not a good solution. However, sitting in a game, realizing you made a mistake, maybe you pinched too high, you took a shot you shouldn't, whatever it might be, and getting to the solution as quick as you can, That from now on must be your new habit if you're gonna make sure to stop doing this. The final habit that's killing your athletic performance is thinking that everybody's out to get you, AKA you're playing the victim. Now what this really is when you feel like no matter what you do, it just won't go your way, or that everybody's trying to sabotage you, AKA what we like to call learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is when you feel like no matter what I've done, somewhere along the lines, it's not gonna work still, no matter what. Now the cue that sets off most athletes that we work with is when something doesn't go repetitively their way. The cravings that are actually at the root of this that we've noticed. Number one, they actually like the attention from other people to see that, oh my gosh, I'm getting the attention when I play this victim. Or number two, kind of similar to the last habit, you want to find a solution to your problem. So as a response, you end up starting to play the victim, and the reward is going to be one of two things. One, you get that attention that you want, or number two, you actually find a solution to your problem. Now the reason that this doesn't work is simply because if you think about any great athlete, any dominant athlete, the last thing they are is the victim. Instead, what they are is the hero. And the new response you need to carry out from now on is that whenever you feel like you're getting into this victim mentality, you have to do one of two things. Number one, you got to ask yourself, is there some kind of attention I'm craving here? Is there somebody's acceptance that I want, or something of the sort? If that's the case, simply resolve for that. Now on the other side, if you can't find a solution to your problem, you can simply repeat the last habit, or what I highly suggest, start getting self-aware, start reflecting, take the time to write down about your progress and write down about the things that you like and the things you want to change. This will help you be more aware of even getting into this victim mentality. It'll help you get aware of the solutions around you, and most importantly, it'll actually help you progress forward. And there you have it. You now have the solutions to the 5 habits that were killing your athletic performance. What you need to do is simply change your response. Now, some responses you might find are better than others. Some might be working better for you than others will. That's totally fine. You might even have your own responses that you can use. If you do, comment down below. We would love to hear them. If you got value from this video, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell. And if you want to work with us on a more in-depth basis for a program that's customized to your specific needs, that makes sure that you're guaranteeing results in your upcoming performance, because that is something we do here, then simply click the link down below. You can apply for our one-on-one coaching program. We do only take on about 2 athletes a week at the most, and we are capped with spots. So if you would like to apply and you are serious about taking your game to the next level and do want somebody to work with from the mental side of performance, simply click the link down below, apply, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Until the next time, stay resilient. So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch a full podcast episode, click right here.